Welcome to EntrePods, the most cutting-edge podcast for entrepreneurs and investors. We answer the hottest question today. So now what? We are radically civilized with a focus on doable solutions that make the most positive impacts in your business, financial, personal, and community life. The world right now belongs to entrepreneurs. Today, we'll show you through our expert conversations that matter, the limitless opportunities you have right now to live the life of your dreams. The best version of you and your business starts now. Welcome to EntrePods.
Hello, EntrePods. You've reached me, Jennifer Gligerich, and today's guest, you guys are going to absolutely love. So, like many of our guests, this guest has an incredible backstory, but it's going to just blow your mind. So our guest started their business career at the ripe old age of 16 years old, and he took a commission sales jobs selling janitorial supplies. And then when he was 19 years old, he met his mentor. Remember, mentorship is very important for us entrepreneurs. And since then, he's launched a multi-million-dollar career, became a millionaire at the age of 23, launched over 75 healthcare products. He was in the diamond industry, top consultant. He's started his own charity and pretty much one of the most incredible people. And we're going to get to hear all about him. So I want us to welcome EA Csolkovitz to the show today with giversuniversity.info. Welcome, EA.
Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you for having me on your great podcast. And I was listening to you say those things about me, and I'm thinking, even after that list, my name is still longer. Okay, so
no kidding, right?
Yeah, right, for sure. 15.
Well, that means that your job isn't finished. You have to have a list longer than
your name. Exactly. So I've got another 100 years. I'm there. No problem. I'm ready. So thank you so much for having on your great podcast. And I have to say, the first time I saw the name of your podcast, I was thinking, boy, EntrePods, EntrePods, that's a great name. I'm thinking invasion body snatchers, invasion of the job snatchers. You snap jobs away from people and they become entrepreneurs. So
no, it's all about creation. It's creation of jobs. Because now we have a dearth. We don't have enough jobs, right? So if we can take entrepreneurs away from jobs that are not serving them and show them their higher purpose, then they're creating jobs for the people who want the jobs, and we're just making the world a better place. It's all great. But it's changing the mindset, right?
It sure is.
So you've had an entrepreneurial mindset your entire life. So tell me a little bit about that. How did you decide that was the way to go, or did you just fall into it, or were you pushed into it by parents or circumstance? What was your bag like to do that?
I think I'm going to go with E, all the above. Anyway, so a couple of quick stories about that, if I may share with your listeners, because it sort of tags in on, you made a reference, which I totally agree with, the importance of having a mentor. And I can share with you not only how I met mine in the most unexpected way, but then the impact, that he had on my life as a direct result. To answer your question on how all this started, my father was a milkman. And back when I was 5 years old, I'm 65 today. So, so at 5 years old, back then milk still came in glass gallons. There was a box outside everyone's house that was called the milkman box. And the amazing thing, Jennifer, there was always money in the box and no one touched it. Everyone knew that was milkman money, at different times, right? So so here, at 5 years old, my father had a route, but one-man operation for Twin Oaks Dairy. I lived in Chicagoland area, suburb of Chicago, place called Oak Brook, suburb of Chicago. And here I am as, son of a milkman. So that's pretty humble upbringing. There's nothing really unusual about that. Other than I did get a little bit of understanding that he had to go up and it was up to him to get up in the morning and go to work and do his route. There wasn't anyone looking over him, and so I guess maybe that was sort of the first little twinkling I had of, the importance of being a self-starter, because I watched him do it and no one was calling him and he didn't have to punch in, but he was still doing it every day. So 5 years old, I got that. And then at 16 years old, as you mentioned, I took my first big step towards success and became a janitor. Now, I didn't mind that because business was always picking up. What? Mm-hmm. Anyway, so
it took me a second.
I know. I always laugh to bail everyone out so they know, okay, it's okay to laugh now. Anyway, so But because at 16 years old, I was able to be bonded, which means insured. So I was
Mhm.
able to be in expensive places in case my buffer went crazy and hit something expensive. The insurance company paid for it, right?
Yeah.
Because of that, I was able to clean a house of a lady who, and I was in every single Wednesday cleaning her house, and her name is June Martino. Now, that may not mean anything to your listeners until I make this movie reference. There was a movie out a few years back. It's still available on streaming today and probably will be for a long time. And it's called The Founder. It's with Michael Keaton. He plays Ray Kroc, and it's all about McDonald's.
Oh yeah, I don't know if I've watched that one. Okay, so
It's a must watch,
Okay.
that's for sure. And it's very Hollywoodized and dramatized, as you know, a Hollywood movie would be. And it's called The Founder, and it's about mostly Ray Kroc, you know, the founder, quote unquote. And through the movie, Ray is talking with this lady outside his office, and he says, June this, June this, June that. That lady is the lady whose house I cleaned.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So that lady. So here I am at 16 years old, and I'm in this $1 million home every single Wednesday. And the first thing that was amazing to me, Jennifer, was, you know, and June Martino, you know, the world headquarters for McDonald's was in Oak Brook, right where I live. So through my whole life, I lived the whole McDonald's phenomenon. I saw it right in front of my very eyes, right?
Mhm.
And June Martino was an icon. Everyone knew June Martino, you know, and here I am cleaning her house. Who would ever think? Every single Wednesday. And this really, really surprised me. I had always thought, Jennifer, to be successful, you had to be a jerk. I had thought up to that point in my life, you had to be Me Too oriented. You had to be, you know, it's nothing personal, it's just business. You know, I mean, you know, all that kind of stuff, right?
I hate those.
I know, I hate those references, you know, and I always correct them right on the spot when they say
it makes me cringe. I'm all about ethical entrepreneurship is really going to save the world.
Yeah.
You know, it's not that.
Yeah. When I hear those words, I exit. I don't even waste my time. You know, I mean, I've seen it, been there, done that. So, so the thing that was amazing me, Jennifer, was June Martino was the opposite of that. She was so approachable, so nice. So, I mean, just, and I kept looking at her as she would walk through the room. She would say hi to me, even if I had my head sort of down, like, cause I'm buffing the floor. Cause that was why I was there. And she had full-time maid and butler. Right. But I'm still in there every Wednesday, cause I had to do the floors and the pool and garage, that kind of thing. And I'd pull out the Rolls Royce, because here I am sitting in a car worth 10 lifetimes of my income, right? A Rolls Royce. And here I am, Jennifer, I'm driving a Rolls can hardly, you know, rolls down one hill, can hardly make it up the next, you know? And so that's my Rolls can hardly. And so here I am, and I'm in June's house. This is, and I'm amazed by this woman, and I'm thinking, wow, you know, she's not a superhero. She's not like an alien, or she's no superpower or anything. She seems to be like a regular lady, except I'm not able to count.
She's rich. Yeah.
I'm not able to count on my fingers and toes how many zeros, right? And I thought, wow, this is incredible. And that had an impact. And one day I had enough nerve, and she was in an extra good mood. And I went up to her and I said, June? She said, yes. I mean, always very approachable. And I said, can I ask you a question? She goes, sure. And I said, could you tell me about it? She said, what? And I said, well, the whole McDonald's thing. I'm not kidding, Jennifer. She put her arm around me, brought me in the kitchen. I'd asked her in the morning, and the entire day told me the entire story of when she worked for Ray before he even met the McDonald's brothers, because he was a milkshake mixer salesman. She worked for him then, all the way through up until the moment we were sitting in the kitchen, and everything in between. And I'm thinking, well, I just can't keep looking around thinking, she must be talking to someone else. She's not doing it to the snot-nosed 16-year-old kid, you know, but it's me, you know. So she references a part. When you see the movie, remember me, think about this part, because in the movie, she references to Ray, Michael Keaton, right? There's no money. We have money going out, fasteners coming in. There's no money left. We're virtually penniless, right? She referenced that and told me about that, obviously decades before the movie came out.
Right.
And she said, Ray and I made an agreement that he had no money. So he wouldn't pay me. There was no money to pay me. And he gave me worthless company stock. And he agreed to take the bill collector phone calls from me so the bill collectors wouldn't hassle me. So I asked her, June, I live paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah. How do you do that?
I live Friday to Friday. If I don't get paid on Friday, I'm not showing on Saturday. I need the paycheck, right? So
Right.
why did you do it? And Jennifer, she sat back and did this eye lock on my eyes, and I could tell she just left. No one had ever, everyone wanted to know what happened with McDonald's, but no one ever asked why. And here I am, this stupid little kid asked this question.
It's a smart question.
And I said, why'd you do it? So she's staring at me for like 10 seconds, and it seems like an hour. And I'll never forget what she said and the way she said it, because it made the hair stand up on the back of my neck. When I said, June, why did you do it? She said, because I believed in Ray. And my first thought, Jennifer, instantly, I remember it like it was yesterday. My first thought was, that's it. I need a Ray Kroc. I need to find a Ray Kroc that can put me under his wing, just like he put June under his. Look what happened to her. It worked out okay for her. And she's, she's rich and happy, not realizing, Jennifer, I had it backwards. I'm supposed to be happy and then rich, but at 16 years old, I'm all about the money, right?
Right.
And I thought, I need a Ray Kroc. That's it. And I remember thinking this question and throwing it out there in the truest, most puritanical, ignorant way, thinking, where do I find my Ray Kroc? Little did I know the importance of asking that question in that way. As my business mentor taught me years later, he said, don't worry about the answers. They're always there. He said, all the answers are there. Every single answer is there. Think about the right questions. People get the wrong answers because they always ask the wrong questions over and over again. And we become self-fulfilling prophecies. Our life fulfills those prophecies of the things we keep asking over and over again.
Yeah.
So inadvertently, Jennifer, I asked the right question. I stumbled on it. I said, where's my Ray Kroc? I didn't say he didn't exist. I didn't say it's never going to happen to me, or I'm never going to be June Martino. I just said, where is he? 2 or 3 months later, we get a phone call at the same janitorial service I was working at.
Mm-hmm.
And it was at night, literally it was nighttime. And my boss, Jerry, picks up the phone. It's only him and I in the office. I was just sort of talking with him. He was a friend of the family. And picks up the phone. A few minutes later, hangs up the phone. He said, well, some guy's in from Detroit. He's opening a diamond store, and he needs to see some carpeting, and he needs to see it tonight because he's leaving tomorrow, going back to Detroit. I said, okay, what's that got to do with me? And he said, I need you to go. And I said, no, I'm not going. First time I said no, let's count. First time I said no. And he said, no, I need you to go, man. And he said, I have to stay here at the office. He needs to see some carpeting. I said, no. Second time, Jerry, I don't know anything about carpeting. I don't know anything about carpeting. I just clean places. My fun time is getting free songs on a jukebox at 2 a.m. when I'm cleaning bowling alleys. That's my fun time, right? So, I don't know anything about carpeting. He says, no, man, you got to go. I'll tell you what. He said, if you go, I'll give you your pick of any Saturday off you want.
Ooh, that's a big deal. Yeah.
For a janitor,
yeah,
major negotiation.
No, that's a big deal for a lot of people, actually.
Yeah, because we clean when businesses are closed. So Saturday morning to night, we're cleaning, right? So I repeated back to make sure he wasn't tricking me, or I didn't trick myself. My ears weren't tricking me, and I said, any Saturday? And he said, yeah, any Saturday. I said, okay, Jerry, I'll go. I throw some samples in the car, and I go, now, setting the stage. I'm physically exhausted. I've been cleaning all day. Mm-hmm. Nothing left of me. No gas in the tank, right? Mm-hmm. I'm tired. I don't want to. I'm not doing it for my boss. I don't care about this janitorial service. I don't like what I do anyway. I don't even care about this guy I'm meeting, and he's some guy in from Detroit, and who knows about Detroit. And, so I'm thinking all these things. So I have every reason not to go. I'm only going for one reason whatsoever. And what's that reason?
So you can get that Saturday off, right?
The only reason.
Saturday.
Little do I know, I'm getting ready to meet the man that will change the trajectory of my life forever. I'm getting ready to meet the man who will become the father I never had, even though I had the father. I'm getting ready to meet the man whom I will become the son he never had, even though he had a son. He will become my Ray Kroc. Little did I know, and everything is telling me not to go, and I'm even saying no to it. So I share with your listeners, be aware, be cautious, understand that sometimes the most significant events in our life will be veiled by something so insignificant on the thin edge of a dime that will seem like nothing at that moment. And yet, something spectacular is about ready to come out of it. So I meet this guy, and I felt like, Jennifer, I knew him before. Like have you ever met someone where there's such a strong rapport? You feel like I already know him, you can talk about anything. It doesn't even matter, no judgments. It's all good, whatever it is, and that was it. And we sat there for 2 hours and talked in this store. He was going to be opening. It was under construction. And the carpet was a no sale because he needed real plush things for a diamond store. And we only had commercial office grade stuff. Right. But we talked for 2 hours. So now I get ready to leave, and I'm packing up the thing, and he offers me a job. And I said, no. I say no again. I said, no. I said, I didn't know anything about diamonds. All I know about diamonds is, number one, they're expensive. Number two, a woman someday is going to ask me for one. That's all I know. That's all I know about diamonds. Right. And he said, well, I'll teach you. And I said, no again. And he said, and little did I know, he really was, Jennifer, a genius in the truest puritanical, not the IQ baloney, but I mean, a genius in human engineering, and to be able to look at someone and peg them and size them up almost instantly. And with a few questions, know like their whole life story. He had me pegged. So he hit me as I was walking out the door, saying no all that night long.
Man.
With the question, he said, what do you have to lose? You could always go back being a janitor. And he knew that was going to bug me. And so, and I said no anyway. Now it is like the sixth time I said no, and I leave, and I'm driving, and it's bugging me. I say, he's right. I could always go back being a janitor. I could always do that. He's right. One thing led to another. Get halfway home. It's almost midnight now. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to find out what in the world he had on his mind. So I turn around, and he's probably gone. He already went to the airport. No, he's still there. So one thing leads to another. I start working for him, and I share with your listeners the impact he had on my life as he began to slowly but surely put together those burnt out wires, the son of a milkman thought process, the burnt out janitor who my goal in life was to continue cleaning bowling alleys and get free songs on jukeboxes, to put all that together and to rewire the things that needed to be improved in my life. I share with your listeners, if you don't get a mentor, you are losing so much every day, because there are so many people that want to share with you. Right now, Jennifer is your mentor with this podcast.
Yep.
She's mentoring you. So, and first thing you can do is be sharing this podcast with other people, be a giver, because that's what we do. And so I share with all of your listeners, get a mentor. And understand that they are there. There are a lot of people that want to willingly and freely give to you.
Stay with us, and we'll be right back after the break. The EntrePods team is excited to announce the new Bootstrap Bootcamp to answer all your questions about the how and when, and push you to be the best version of yourself. Watch as your business becomes more profitable in the next 30 days with industry experts to help you along the way. We teach you powerful strategies that companies around the world implement that are refined for small business owners like yourself. Sign up today at entrepods.com/bootstrap-bootcamp.
And the last sort of side note on that mentorship was when I was 19 years old, I asked Sam Robbins was my mentor. And I said, Sam, will you teach me everything? I mean, everything. I mean, all of it. No holds barred. He said, okay. I'll teach you all of it, but I want one thing from you. I want to let you know, Jennifer, no matter what he said next, I'm going with a yes.
Yes. Yeah. I was gonna say, yeah. Okay.
100%.
I'm there.
Yes
I'm there
mode.
with you.
I'm
Yes
yes mode. Right. He said, when the time is right, and you will know that time, I want you to teach as many people as possible everything that I teach you. And at 19 years old, Jennifer, I made a vow. I made an oath. I made a commitment to my mentor that I would do exactly that. And today that is manifest as what we call Givers University. And that's how I met my mentor and the importance he had really in my life.
That is an incredible story. And I think it's incredible too. So I want to poke some holes in it a little bit.
Please do.
And because I get it back too. And we have a very, I don't know, I think everybody was always very questioning and kind of negative, but I know that right now, Gen Z and millennials are really struggling with this. You know, there's this lie. It's a great lie that somehow boomers or other generations, they got it all. They got everything handed to them. Life was so easy, and the opportunities they had are no longer available for a little guy or girl like me. Right. And so I'm constantly pushing against that, saying, you know, that's just not reality. You know, you can get mentors, you can do this. There is still open opportunity, but we get so much negative in now. I think that people are even being told they're not allowed to dream, which bugs me a lot. So I wanted to, since you have this university and you're dealing with all these people that are streaming in, asking the same question, you know, how can I live a life full of purpose, you know, to the best of my ability? Then how are you acting that lie so that they can see the truth of their own power of path of purpose?
Excellent. Great question. Thank you. First, I would say that I would suspect that to a lesser or a greater degree, every generation thought that. You know, I think to a lesser or greater degree, everyone said, you know, it was easier before there was laws. It was easier before there, you can keep going back. And because there's always a reason not to make it or to make it. And I share with you, and it really is germane to, not to get too granular, with really what we teach. And I ask your listeners the following. Think about the fires that you stomp out every day. Think about the times when your stress level skyrockets or spikes throughout the day. Think about the times when you've had conversations with people. You know you had a conversation with them. You barely remember what you talked about, but you know for sure you have no energy left. They just drained it all from you. All three of those scenarios, Jennifer, have one thing in common. There's a name attached to them. And today, and I share with your listeners, we love everybody. I say that emphatically. We love everybody. What we teach people to do at Givers University is to separate the person who we love from their deeds, which we may not love. And we do that by teaching people to do something called discernment. And I can share with you, I do 1 to 3 interviews every single day. And I can share with you that no one is teaching about what I'm about ready to explain. And that is, in this world we're living in, which certainly is faster than ever before, that's for sure. And you know, we have businesses open and closing faster than before, products being antiquated overnight by new products. All those things are happening. And what do we have left? Our relationships. And no one's teaching us how to discern who we should have in our life or who we should not. And so what we do is we teach people a skill set of observation and to discern not broad, innocuous swaths of information where you go, well, that sounded really good. What do I do with that? How do I?
Yeah. How can I execute that? Yeah.
I mean, we've sifted it all the way down, Jennifer, to the actual deeds. Look for them doing these actual things. Just simply observe what they're doing. And here's the list of deeds. Here's the things. Look for these things. And if you see them doing these certain things, you may want to discern and bring them closer into your life and have them be a part of what we call your giver community. Everyone should build their own community of givers around themselves. Or if you see them doing other certain things, you may want to discern and then begin to respectfully, not nasty or rude or insensitive, respectfully distance yourself from them, because takers bring with them the 3 Ds of a taker, which is defeatism, disruption, and destruction. And when you bring them into your life, you are about ready to become unwitting collateral damage. And your productivity will go through the floor because you're going to be investing time putting out all these fires. Your stress level is going to go up instead of down. You're around people draining your energy instead of giving you energy because they're not the right kind of people. So no one's teaching us, Jennifer. I'm a self-improvement guy. You're a self-improvement gal. I could see that. I mean, there's no question. I'm sure your listeners are. But you know what? No one's teaching us What about the other guy? What if he's not doing it right? What should I do about him?
Right. Right. Because then, well, we want to be helpful. We want to be inclusive. We want to be this. We shoulda, all this other stuff. And then there is this huge, healthy gray area between being the person, greed is good. It's all just business. Do what's good for you only, being unethical. And then the other person that's just a walking doormat who has nothing at all left because they've knowingly and unknowingly allowed everyone just to suck them dry. So but there's this whole area in between.
You're exactly right.
Pick.
And we actually have a name for them. And what we've proven is statistically about 20% of the population are givers. And by the way, when we say givers and takers, we're not labeling people. We don't label people. We're labeling the deeds of those people. There's a significant difference. We love everybody, right? Mm-hmm. So when we say giver, we say about 20% of the population are wired. You put them in any situation, family, personal, social, business, doesn't matter. In a short period of time, Jennifer, they will begin to give to it. They will contribute. They will invest in it. They will help it. They're just wired that way. By contrast, the other side of the Grand Canyon, right, are the 20% that are takers that in any situation, they will begin to craft a way to take from it spiritually, mentally, emotionally, monetarily. They're just wired that way, right? 20%, that's 40, 60% left. Those 60% in the middle, Jennifer, we call them fencers. And the reason why is they sit on the fence. They act like givers when they're with givers. They act like takers when they're with takers. They can be great relationships, but you're going to have to keep an eye on them and you're going to need to manage them. We teach people a skill set that's not being taught anywhere else that puts them a giant step above everybody else by learning how to discern who should I bring closer in my life and who should I respectfully distance so my productivity can go up when I have the right kind of people around me. How do I discern that? I was talking with a guy the other day and he said, yeah, I read this book and you're right. He said, well, I should have 5 people around me that are all good. And I said, you're right. Question for you. Which 5? And he looked at me with this blank look. I said,
just like I gave you.
Yeah. You get that point? See, no one's teaching. Which 5? What do you look for? And so because of that, we help people. So we have a saying, givers earn 3 times more because givers discern 3 times more. We teach a skill set not being taught anywhere else. And we want to give some freebies to your listeners, genuine free checklist that they can download. Doesn't cost them anything. We're Givers University, so we got to walk our talk. We're going to do it anyway. But genuine, these things are in checklist form, Jennifer, where they can download it and say, man, this is good stuff. This is going to really help me begin to decide.
Yeah, I'm going to be the first person downloading everything.
Yeah. Should I be respectfully distancing myself from this person? Because I'm going to be collateral damage. And so we teach that discernment. And so many people say, thank you. This stuff's a lifesaver for me. I'm so much more productive now because I'm not stomping out all these fires and my energy is higher. So they would go to what you said. Our website is giversuniversity.com. And they can go there and sign up for the newsletter, or they can we have a quiz that's free. They'll get the same downloads when they go either way. So if they want to go to a newsletter, sign up for the newsletter, absolutely free. Just put in your email and then, they'll get a confirmation email. So they should say, yeah, I want to get the stuff. So we're not spammers. And then and immediately they'll get a download that's called the 6 arrows that takers shoot at givers. It's actually a checklist of the 6 arrows that takers shoot at givers that givers don't even realize why they're bleeding and why they're hurting. It's because of these 6 arrows. A couple of days later, they're going to get a 2-page checklist called the 25 do's. Jennifer, this is going to blow their minds because
I can't wait. I can't wait till this drops and everybody gets it.
It's a 2-page checklist of the 25 things to look for. These are the deeds. These are the 25 things you want to watch other people and watch how over time, for those that haven't learned this and begin to learn the skill set, how their life begins to take shape. And now those people who think, you could only make it years ago, and now you're not able to. See, by surrounding themselves with the right people, their attitude along with their mindset begins to change, and something else happens. There's a self-assessment part that's built into all of this. So when people look at these checklists, they go, oh boy, I'm seeing myself there a little bit, So, and here's the last point I want to share with your listeners, really important, and that is Maybe you have someone in your family who's being a little takerish. What do? You love them. You don't want to hurt their feelings. You want to broach the subject. It needs to be talked about, but you don't know how to do it. One of the best things they could do, Jennifer, is share a podcast called EntrePods with them. Here's why. Because it's the great third party. It's a great way to share with them. And all they have to do is say, you know what? I heard there's really thought-provoking podcasts. You know, a lot of podcasts have different information. That's great. This one really got to me, and I could tell that there was something there that really provoked some thought. Do me a favor, listen to it and tell me what you think of it, right? You never know. It may open their mind. And if they were being a little takerish, now they could become a little more giverish because takers are not takers eternally. We even teach them how to switch to the other side, if you will, and what they can do to do that. So I want to share with you that we love what we do. We're so excited about it. And I hope your listeners can hear the excitement in my voice, because it's so rewarding to, number one, teach something that's not being taught, and to watch it impact people's lives when they say, thank you. I really needed to learn this because I didn't know what to do with these wolves that were all around me. I didn't know what to do about it. All I knew is they were chewing on me every day.
I talk about this all the time. I say that it should be a course in school to teach people about personality things, like who suffers from cluster B personality disorders, like how to notice these things in real life so that you don't end up in therapy, just sitting there going like this from a relationship that's just, destroyed you. It doesn't have to be like that. It's all just education. And I actually share episodes that I have people on. I'm going to share this one too. So you're in my head, great. EA. So we've been talking with EA Csolkovitz, by the way, the incredible EA. And just to give you more on his background, so you understand why it's important to listen to him, is not only has this made him personally successful and happy and living a wonderful life and starting a charity, but it's also helped him be very wealthy too. So for anyone who's listening, who's like, yeah, but show me the money, right? If you're still stuck in that, you'll get the money, but it's all about mindset. So EA went and he earned his first million at 23 years old. And by the time he was 33, he had his first million in personal income. So we're talking about highest level thought process. When you break through all of that, will just show me the money, into how can I be of value to this world at the highest level? Because that's when you hit true prosperity, true abundance, true ability to make change in your world. And so when you're listening to this, this is some old school stuff, but it's for some reason it's gotten lost. It's like ancient knowledge that's been lost. So I want you guys to listen to it. The old adage, birds of a feather flock together. Well, there is a lot of science behind this, and what he's talking about, givers and takers. Please go to giversuniversity.com and learn more about this. It's going to make you, it's going to allow you to take more control over the roller coaster, if you have one, of your life, because sometimes we get these wild people in and it's just up and down, and you are so busy, putting out other people's fires, trying to be of service, trying to help other people, when really it could just be noticing who you need to draw in and who you need to distance a little bit for, and all in loving ways. You don't have to be a jerk. It's not about that. It's about, cultivating you're the givers that are around you in your tribe. So again, we've been talking with EA Csolkovitz. I hope I'm still getting that right.
You're nailing it. You're nailing it. Can I share one last thought?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Please.
I was just about to go to you.
Yeah, thank you. One of the things my business mentor, and I was very blessed, and it's not braggadocious, but at 33 years old was the first year I earned $1 million in 1 year after I paid taxes. That's not business income. That's personal income. After I paid taxes, I had $1 million left in my pocket at 33 years old. That's in 1989, by the way. It's well over 2 million today, well over in today's dollars. And, and I share this to share the point, not the money, but to share the point that my business mentor taught me. He said, before I had earned $1 million, because he was a multimillionaire, he said, do you know earning $1 million would be the easiest thing you'll ever do? And I said, really? He said, yes. You know what the hardest part is? And I said, no. He said, believing you're worth it. Mm-hmm. And I thought, whoa. And I found that to be true. I really did find that to be true. And I'll share with you the 3 things my business mentor taught as a closing statement for your listeners. For those that are listening, for those that are struggling, for those that want to succeed, part of it is we have to train our minds and condition our minds for success and for the prosperity we want. It's a conditioning and a skill set that we learn, and it can be learned. No matter who you are, it can be learned. These are the 3 things my business mentor taught me to say to myself every day, and I have for decades. And even today, I still do. And I share these 3 secrets with your listeners of things they should say to themselves every day that will help them on their road. And here they are. I will never give up. I will keep rising up. And I will always overcome.
I love that. Okay, we're all going to do it. I'm going to do it. And I like it. It's short, sweet, and simple. And it's one thing that we can start all doing right now. So guys, we're at the end of our episode. And thank you again for joining us with EntrePods. Do not forget, especially with this episode, to like, comment, and share. And be sure to give us a 5-star review. I can't keep on getting world-class people like EA on here unless you guys do it. Thank you again for being a part of our EntrePods team. And thank you again, EA, for sharing your incredible wisdom with us. And as EA stated, we're going to have all the links to all those incredible goodies for you to have and for you to use in your arsenal so you can be the best possible version of yourself and live a great life. Thanks again, guys, and you have an amazing week. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening, and please go give us a 5-star rating on your preferred listening platform if you enjoyed the show. This helps us reach more listeners like you and keep booking amazing guests. If you'd like to join our growing EntrePods community, want our social media links to like or share, or inquire about one-on-one strategy calls with our host Jennifer, please visit EntrePods.com. See you next time, and here's to you and your best life imaginable.